Hi, this is Robert Wood with the Keep It Dago podcast. I'm here with Bayloc, a very big part of San Diego's urban entertainment industry and a huge part of the ongoing conscious unity movement within San Diego County. Now, Bayloc has something going on that a lot of people wouldn't share with you, but he chooses to. As a result of interacting with so many different people and trying to kind of give the fans what they want, he has contracted COVID-19. This is a serious issue, and he asked Keep It Dago to come talk to him about it so that the community can find out what's going on, what he went through. And of course, even though he didn't ask me to, we got to tap in with him about his music at some point in this interview. Baylo, what did Dago like, man?
What that Dago like, man? Look, let me say this first, man. You know, people have been contacting me from all around the world since it's kind of slowly been getting leaked that I have COVID-19, and right now it's difficult for me to breathe. So when you hear me get like that, that's what that is right there.
And we appreciate
You know, but it was
a show like this.
Right. It's imperative for me to do my first interview with, Keep It Dago. Not only because of me and your personal relationship over the years, you've always been a great older homeboy. That was an entrepreneur on a multitude of levels. But you in the trenches right now. You know what I mean? And you doing the interviews that nobody else is thinking about doing. And so it was only right that I come back to you guys and do my first interview.
And we do appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it.
Right. So we're gonna start off with along the lines of my life. I've contracted COVID-19. It's a very ugly respiratory flu that tends to attack the African American and Latino community at large. Unfortunately, a lot of us have underlying health conditions, such as high blood pressure, sugar diabetes, asthma. Personally, I have high blood pressure and sugar diabetes. So
how did
this
they
is
say
something
this
I
was
did.
gonna affect you?
Excuse me?
Like when you got there with COVID-19 and they asked you about your underlying health conditions and you told them that you have high blood pressure and diabetes, what did they say? What were the implications of that for you? Like
It's not good. Off top is not good. This is a respiratory, coronavirus is a respiratory flu. So it attacks your respiratory system. So people with those underlying health conditions are already dealing with a multitude of health issues. And, when you watch the media and they're talking about the large number of African Americans and Latinos that are dying from this, a lot of those are elders who have those underlying health conditions. So, we're not likely to survive this. But I'm gonna prove that theory wrong.
So it is very tough, and it's kind of weird because in addition to you contracting it around the same time that you found out you had it, President Donald Trump found out he had it. So basically, it's hitting every end of the spectrum. It's sparing nobody if you're not cautious. Would that be fair to say?
It's not. Donald Trump is my nemesis right now. I'm really pushing for change, for the way white America treats Black America. That's my main agenda in life right now. And now, I'm really coming on to be an advocate and educate a lot of us in the inner city who are not practicing social distancing, who are not keeping our hands washed and sanitized, are wearing masks. Personally, I have a big issue with authority. I'm anti-authority, and that plays a big role on, the things America did to me, the places America sent me to, the adversities and struggle America sent, placed me under that I had to persevere and climb over, has made me a certain way. One of those ways is that I understand that under certain circumstances, I'm going to respond a certain way. So for the things that I've been through, riots with prison guards, being locked down in shoe programs for 23 hours a day, being fed like a little child when I'm a grown man. These things have bred a certain level of hostility in me to where I can very well be somebody choked out or shot dead because of the way that I'm gonna respond if the police approach me a certain way. I understand that. That's not how I want my life to turn out, but I know me. I know what I've been through to condition my mind and those certain things. And I'm also very rebellious against authority. Somebody tell me to put my mask on, I'm taking the motherfucker off.
And
Just
now let
because
me
you
ask
told me to do it.
would you attribute your contraction of COVID-19 and that of others and others putting themselves at risk just to plain rebellion? Would some of that be contributed to you're telling me to wear a mask? I'm not going to wear this mask. I'm going to do me. Is some of that what happened, or like what led to that situation?
It does happen. It does happen to some individuals like me because we don't want to be told what to do. I'm not going to say lack of education because I'm very educated on the coronavirus. I'm not saying that I contracted it because majority of the time I don't wear a mask. I'm not saying it's because of that, but it could attribute to that. I understand that. I understand my level of rebelliousness can also be at a default for myself. So I'm not encouraging that. I'm encouraging that we do everything that we're supposed to do to survive this. I still pull up at my park with my homeboys. We all smoking weed together. That might not be smart. It's big heads.
Now that you've been through this, I'm certain.
Correct. I mean, it's a multitude of ways you can catch this. So you don't catch it by not wearing a mask. You catch it by not practicing all the things at one time, which are the mask, the sanitation of your hands, the self-quarantine. A lot of people tired of staying in the house. I'm somebody that got out of jail April the 30th this year. You know what I mean? I got a brand new Camaro. You know what I'm saying? And, I like to get out in traffic and move around. And, sometimes we forget that we going through the corona whole thing, and then, and I'm feeling real rebellious when I walk into 7-Eleven to buy me a Swisher or something. And everybody, hey, put your mask on. And, I do it because I want to buy my Swisher and that's what they require. But it makes me rebellious. That's me personally. I know I got a lot of homeboys.
Now, right now,
excuse me?
I said that's you personally. Right now, I do have two young men with me who will be soon doing a small show on Keep It Dago for the younger audience, and they have a couple questions for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow them, rather than putting them on Zoom, they're in the room with me. I'm going to allow one of them, Osiris, to take a seat for a moment and ask you a couple questions because he had his first, and then I'll allow Devon to come over here and ask you a question or two about it, just so that they can get that education and they can disseminate that message to the younger people. And I just want you to know I feel that, you know, as you being my younger homeboy and me watching you, you know, from a very young age, that I really admire what you're doing, getting this information out, especially considering how rebellious you are, because some people would have this happen to them and they wouldn't take it as an opportunity to teach. So I appreciate that. I'm going to bring Osiris over here.
I understand. Let me say this. Let me say this first. I understand as a Black man, especially in today's times, we have to utilize everything that we go through and every opportunity we have to teach. I don't care if you're writing an essay. I don't care if you're writing a rap. I don't care if you're playing dominoes and all the kids are running around. You know, stop them and teach them something that's going to either help keep them alive, healthy, be more respectful to their brothers and sisters, understand the plight and struggle and the sacrifices most of their single mothers are making. Appreciate those that have their fathers in their life, because most of us grew up without that. I understand every single moment of my life is a teachable moment. That's where the transition came for me with my music and, you know, and my position in life. I'm standing against everything ugly, including the coronavirus. So let's bring the youngsters on, man. Let's see what they talking about.
Yeah, Osiris Alexander, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. You know, what's crazy is I know your mom and your dad real well. But, you know, let's go on with the interview, young man. And we all expect great things out of you.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's go.
All right, so my first question is, what was your view before you got COVID?
What was my view on COVID? First of all, let me kind of move indoors a little bit so everybody can hear us a little better. My views on COVID before I contracted it and since I've contracted it is that I don't think the public understands the respiratory part of it. I sure didn't understand the severity of that, of how difficult it is to breathe. I don't have asthma. I don't know what it's like to be choked out or suffocated, but that's what it feels like. It feels like having a bag over your head with the smallest needle in the world hole and you're trying to suck air through it. Even right now, as we're having this interview, I'm having difficulties breathing. And
I can't hear you. You put your stuff on mute.
You know, everything in life is about education. The more you educated on something, the more you're able to deal with it. So I like to have believed I was pretty educated on COVID and how it's affecting the African American and Latino community. But actually, I was nowhere near educated that I needed to be. I'm not going to say that I never took COVID serious because I understand the severity of it. But I was not practicing the things that I should have been practicing. I should have been wearing a mask every moment I stepped out, not only to protect myself, but to protect other people. And so it's deep. COVID is not nothing to play with. It's not a fear factor of what the media tries to portray to you, but it's very, very, very serious. And especially to us people of color.
All right, so I have another question. What are your What's your opinion on COVID now?
My opinion on COVID is that it's very detrimental. I see how not only is it detrimental to your physical health, I see how COVID could destroy somebody mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you watch it on the news, you're afraid of it, and you get it, and you could really be depressed. You could really give up and not do the things that you personally need to do because they don't give you no medication or nothing. So I thought, you know, a person that got COVID, they were rushing them to the hospital, and they were doing all these things in the world to keep you alive. I found out I'm not in the hospital right now. When I found out I had COVID, I wasn't in the hospital, and the hospital is not trying to do nothing for me right now.
Are you serious?
So I'm 100% serious. You know, I'm sitting in a 5-star hotel room, quarantining myself right now. You know, so understand that you surviving COVID is what you're going to do. I had to get one of these Vicks humidifiers. I had to get one of these, and it really, really, really helped me with my breathing. Some nights I didn't feel like I was going to be able to make it through the night. You go through coughing spasms where I'm coughing for 2-3 hours straight. And in the process of that coughing, I'm trying to suck air in. So those things are extremely difficult. And so I need people to understand that if you do contract COVID, that you have to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm talking about you personally. You know what I mean? You're not gonna want, you're not gonna want your mom in there taking care of you because she can catch that. Exactly. You're not gonna want your uncle, so that's all on you, bruh.
Exactly.
So it's very, very serious. And I hope a lot of young African Americans and Latinos, people period around the world, take that serious.
All right, so I got one last question.
Sure.
How do you feel about the did you watch the vice president debate last night?
I didn't. And I'm a little embarrassed to say that because I'm a very political individual. I'm very invested into this voting process. I feel that the only way to stop a lot of things that are happening to us in Black America is going to only happen through voting. It's the only way we're going to get white America's knees off our necks, is that we vote, and that a generation like yourself sees us vote and make a change, because you guys are also seeing a lot of ugly things happen. Mm-hmm. So I want you guys to see some beautiful things happen too. I want you to see what it looks like when Black America comes together and makes a stance, whether that's through protesting, whether that's through music, whether that's and through voting. Voting is very essential. We as Black people, sacrificed our lives to vote. That's not a right that we had, that you have today. Your ancestors made sacrifices. They were beat with water hoses. They had German shepherds sicked on them. I'm talking about women, not just. I'm talking about women too, not just men. Your ancestors were tortured so that you and I can vote. And it's a travesty if we don't take advantage of that opportunity and blessing. So I know you still a little young, probably. I I don't know how old you are at this point, but hopefully you will see the power in voting. And so I didn't get a chance to see Kamala Harris do her thing, but I know she's a very articulate, beautiful sister that we are all expecting great things out of. So I was going to sit back. I videoed it. Sit back and watch it tonight. I was last night was a little rough with me with my breathing. Today I feel a little better and a little stronger. So I'll be definitely checking that out. And good luck to you, whatever you your endeavors are. Just understand that you're cut from a cold cloth. You know, your father and your mother are very, very, very educated, strong Black people. Yes, and they're very, very good friends of mine, both of them. And we're all expecting great things out of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Man.
No problem. No problem. I'm good.
Hello.
These some big youngsters.
What's up? I'm Davon, bro. My first question is, what is your opinion on the younger generation of music? And what are their pros and cons? And what do you feel like what do you feel like they can do better?
Better. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I just have to be. I'm very disappointed in the younger generation of hip hop. Unfortunately, well, I'm being honest with you, because I'm a rapper too. I'm just very disappointed. The lack of education that they are putting in their music. Their lack of respect for the elder rappers who paved the way, for them to have a stage and a platform and a voice and a microphone and a beat right now. It's a lot going on in the world that we should be talking about, and cars and chains and that type of bullshit is just not important right now.
You feel like
growing up, me personally growing up through hip hop, listening to artists like Ice Cube, KRS-One, Scarface, Ghetto Boys, LL Cool J, Too Short, Easy. There was always a political aspect with their music that the younger generation, today's mumble generation, has abandoned.
Part 2 of this important interview coming soon. Stay tuned.